Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of the Smart Flip with me and my co-host Spencer Burk today. So Spencer is kind of filling in for Matt. Matt is actually on the road. He is actually going to San Antonio and then coming to FlipCon. So it's a whole thing. But I still need to get the podcast done, and so we're here to make that happen. So for those of you that are just now listening, or this is your first time listening, this is the Smart Flip. This is where we teach people how to buy, resell stuff, make money, doing phones and electronics. I have a book. You can grab it online. It's called Buyback Revolution. I think it's pretty good. 300 other people, I guess, think it's good as well. So yeah, pretty awesome. Um, but today, guys, topic is going to be on. I know a lot of you guys are going to hate me, but bill of
It's a
sale.
sore topic for
Yeah,
everyone.
like everybody's going to hate me, but so I want to tell a story. Let me take a drink here. So yesterday, I had um I had a detective come to my house. And here's the proof. There's this little badge thingy. Um, Anyway, he came and I talked about some Mac Minis that I bought a couple months ago. They were amazing profits for me. Um, and I've talked about it on the podcast, and I did my due diligence on all of that stuff, especially because it was a high value deal. But I want to walk you guys through exactly what I did, and why this detective, he came to my house, asked me a couple of questions, got what he needed, and I asked him, I was like, "Am I in trouble?" And he was like, "No, absolutely. You did literally everything you could, and you actually went over and beyond on what you needed to do." And I was like, "All right, cool." Like, bro was in my house, everything, right? Um, so he came, and my wife is actually the one that greeted him because I was on a walk, getting the gains and workout in. Anyway, I pulled up, and he was like, "Are you Chris?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You remember buying some Mac Studios a couple months back?" I'm like, "Yeah." What's funny is he actually talked to my wife beforehand because this stuff has happened before. Because she was like, he was like, "I'm looking for Chris," and she's like, do I know you?" He asked, he's like, "Does he run a reselling business?" And she was like, "Oh, who reported something stolen?" He he goes like to my wife, he's like, "Oh, so this has happened before?" And she's like, "Yeah, let me get him over here." And she texted me, and it was a whole thing. Anyway, I met up with him, and he's like, "Do you remember buying these?" I'm like, "I absolutely remember buying those because I got them for such a good price." And I was like, "I have the bill of sale for that transaction. I also have the bro on Meta video glasses. Like I recorded myself buying it, and get this, I even recorded him signing the bill of sale." Like, so, like, once again, the bill of sale, like, and I know people listening to this are seething at me saying it because people say, "Well, I'm going to lose deals because of it." You
Oh,
probably should. You probably should lose deals because of it.
yep.
And the deals that you do lose are typically the ones you don't want anyway. Okay? For some weird reason, this dude gave me his ID and he knew he was being recorded. Like, like there was nothing, and I literally, you can hear me on the video asking like, "Well, how'd you get these, man?" And he's like, "Well, my boss just needed to sell them and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Okay, whatever. It sounds good." And they weren't reported or anything. It's whatever. Anyway, I asked the detective. I was like, "Do I need to do anything? Like, am I gonna have to like refund or like any? Do I get to keep the money I made?" And he was like, "You're good. You did everything that you needed to do." Because with my bill of sale, for those of you that don't know, Spencer uses it too, I believe.
Yep.
Like we not only grab the phone, we grab an email, we grab their name, we grab their freaking a photo of their ID,
Date
and
of
then
birth.
yeah, it's even time stamped at the time that they signed it with their finger. Like so, it's like overwhelming proof. What's funny about this is a cop actually helped me build the bill of sale. Funny enough.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, yeah, like I actually got pulled over one time, and I was like, "Hey, while I got you here, like I run this business. What do I need to do to protect myself?" And that came in super handy yesterday, by the way. So, but
That's man. It's funny. I'm number one. I feel like throughout my whole experience reselling, with having you as like my mentor, the person who kind of showed me how to do electronics resell, at least use electronics. Um, I've always, for the most part, with a few things that stand out as maybe I was being a hardhead. For the most part, I just did what you taught me, and it's so funny because I always see like or hear instances of people having these types of experiences, and I go, man, I'm so glad that's never happened to me. But also, even if it did, I think I'd be okay because of, this thing that I do or this thing that I've done or whatever, whether it's, getting a bill of sale or I think you and I on Facebook were kind of laughing, like shipping and nondescript packaging. Like these are basic things that you would think everyone just does, and people don't, and it hurts them, and they wonder why. I'm
Yeah.
still shocked at the amount of people that I would consider are pretty like mid to high level reseller, flipper, whatever you want to call them, and they're still driving to their contacts late at night. They're still meeting in Walmart parking lots. They're still not getting bill of sales, and it's just baffling to me because I feel like I don't know, like you're still a flipper. You're not really running a business. I feel like if you're not documenting all your sales.
Yeah. I mean, that's how a business operates, right?
Right.
Is you document where you buy stuff from, you document where the stuff sells. Like literally every single piece of gathering those devices that I bought was documented. Like, and it was also on video too. So it was like on usually high value stuff, that's typically how I do things now, is like I use my meta glasses. And number one, it makes great content, and it also makes amazing ads. But also like
That's
it works in three different ways now. It's like I
right.
have absolute proof that you can't screw me over. Um,
And I think
so
this is gonna sound like an advertisement for Resell Deck, and oh well. I promise Chris is not paying me to say this. I don't get discounts. I'm just doing this because I believe in this product. But Resell Deck has like with that bill of sale, I think I've modified or maybe I added some fields to that form and maybe added one sentence so that way it has my branding on it. But in general, it's covered me. And you mentioned that a lot of the things that you do have different purposes, like you can use the video for advertising, but like the bill of sale is not just for a bill of sale. When it's in within Resell Deck, it captures your contact, it throws them in a workflow that allows you to follow up with them. And you have their contact information in perpetuity. And the best part, this is my favorite one. I get their date of birth with their ID, and I make sure I plug that in too because there's an automated system. I don't know if you've changed it or
yep,
not, but it'll message them on their birthday. And I can't tell
love
you how many thank yous I get from customers because Hawksport is one of the few people that message them on their birthday to tell them happy birthday.
I remember
Um,
when I implemented that, it was because of a dentist, actually, funny enough.
uh,
I knew it was automated, but I saw it and I was like, I'm gonna do that too.
It's nice. Dude, and here's the thing, and to let people know that like it may have been automated, but I still try to like when people message me, and same thing goes with my follow-up automations. When they message back, even though they know it's an automated text message, I message them back and thank them for responding.
Yeah.
And I
Heck
think
yeah.
what that does is it just goes hand in hand with having an actual business that's building a relationship with the customer that's not some one night stand phone flip,
Yep.
and we're creating customers that are going to come back. I mean, we talked about this the last time I was on. A majority of my business in Q4 came from repeat customers.
Yeah.
I can't generate that if I don't create good first experiences with customers to begin with.
I mean, that goes for every business too, right? Like, I mean, I'm relatively new to the diabetic test strip space, but it's the same thing. Treat these people good, they're gonna come back. Like,
Yep.
they're very happy to come back. I mean, I had a guy today. Like, we're Victoria's picking up 3 boxes from a dude here in a little bit. Right before some electronics pickups. And dude was like, "All right, cool, yeah, you're my guy every single month from now on." Like, because and to be honest, the reason he said that is because I responded to him. Like, I responded to him. He's like,
Dude,
"Yeah, I used to have a guy that would pay me more, but he's like here and there and hit and miss and this and that." And I was like, "Okay," like, and he just goes, "Yeah, you're my guy, every 30 days now." I was just like,
that's so
"All
cool.
right, cool."
It's again, I was talking to, I have customers that are either they're aspiring entrepreneurs, like, in this economy, in this day and age, everyone's looking to eventually probably work for themselves or do something on the side. And so people have questions sometimes. They're like, man, so like you do this all by yourself, or like, whatever. And dude, don't get me talking about myself because I'll talk for hours. And I'm letting them know, like, yeah, man, like, I've been doing this since 2023. I love it here. I love Colorado Springs. I don't think I'm ever gonna leave. Da, da, da. Like I'm giving them the whole spiel. Then I'm telling them that like, so like, how did you, they'll say, how did you get started doing this? I said, honestly, I've been reselling before I got here, here in Colorado Springs. I said, but a lot of what I was doing was like, books and general goods on Amazon. I said, when I got here, I started to learn to resell electronics and I noticed how big the gap was in my area for this type of thing. Like people wanted to sell electronics or phones or whatever, and their options were Eco ATM and Pawn Shop, which both of those are not awesome options. Or God forbid they have to get on Facebook Marketplace and actually talk to a bunch of different scammers and time wasters and tire kickers. No one wants to do that either. I said, so, we decided to fill that gap. We offer a fair price. We pay more than most places in the city. And I said, and we've been doing pretty good with it. And they're like, wow, that's so cool. I'm like, yeah. So what's crazy is I don't even feel like I was doing anything special. I literally just treat everyone that comes into the door with kindness and respect, and then answer my phone. I was like, and
Yeah.
those two things turn this into a business. Now we have over 150 5-star reviews on Google. I think we're actually getting close to 200 now, but
Heck
like
yeah,
we're,
dude.
what I mean, like we're just trucking along because we answer our phone. We're nice to people, even to people that are mean to us. I know you've seen me show off a few times where I'm like, my favorite thing is to win over a customer that's being an ass. It's my favorite thing in the whole world. Like there's no better feeling in the world.
You are pretty incredible at it too. I won't lie. Like some of the messages I've seen is just you're getting told to F off, and the next thing from Spencer is like, "Well, I hope you have a better day." Like,
And then 2 weeks later, hey, you still interested in buying? Absolutely, I am. So glad that you reached out. It's the best thing.
hope you
Like
have a
crack,
better day.
man. But that
But
goes along with the kindness thing. It's like I don't always want to be that nice to those people. They drive me crazy. They piss me off just like everyone else. But
yeah, of
I mean, even
course.
I'd hate to say it, like the people that have low value products, like mind you, as the business grows, I've had to implement things like an automation to basically ignore those requests when people don't have specificity in what they're selling.
Resale
But
Deck AI is a nice thing.
it is, yeah. But I outside of that, man, like I try to respond to everyone and let them know, hey, so
Yeah,
sorry, it's just not something I'm able to offer. And they get mad and they'll say, well,
yeah,
do you really buy? I was like, look, if I offered it, my offer is like $5. Do you want to come all the way to see me for $5? And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, that's
yeah,
why I said no. It's easier for me to just tell you no, thank you, than it is to get you all the way over here, get you to come in the door, and then insult you to your face with my offer. I'd rather
yeah.
just let you down easy.
100%. I'd rather just insult you, over messaging, Of
Or insult you behind your back to in the recelerator Slack and make fun of you.
course, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things where, like, for me, I like to use the line as like, "Look, I'm embarrassed to even make this offer." Blah
Yes.
blah blah, and
I again I steal this directly from you. I
it
use the exact
works.
same
Like,
phrase.
it just works. Like it's pre-framing what's about to come.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and here's the thing, it is embarrassing when you think about like certain devices that are still valuable, but the market just doesn't pay on them well. Like
yeah, exactly.
all
Yeah,
Galaxy devices, even the recent ones, like I make good money on them, but it's because the market tells me like, hey, Eco ATM's offering $200 for a S25 Ultra. So
yeah, I
like
know.
if that's the market,
Crazy.
I'd hate to say it, but they really do set the market. So then that becomes okay. I have to beat them, which is hella easy.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna like offer 700 for a $700 phone. I'm like, I'll be lucky if I get that. So I got to get closer to 250. Sometimes I'll do 300 if it's an unlocked device, but I'm really not. I'm not budging much off of that.
Well,
Um,
on like devices like those nowadays, I mean, I don't handle most of my own messages at this point, but my people do.
what
But
a flex.
um,
Wow.
um, but no, it's more like I'm just very upfront and honest with people now. It's like, look, usually when I buy a Samsung, I end up holding it
Yep.
longer than an iPhone, and that's the reason my price is the way it is. And usually the price that I think it's going to sell for, it usually sells $30 to $50 less.
Yep.
Almost every single time. Like,
And it's funny. I think this trying to circle this back to our topic of the bill of sale. I think people don't like to do it because they want to chase, they're afraid it's going to chase off deals, chase off customers. But I think that same principle applies to why people won't tell them why they're able to pay what they're paying on these devices. And I think I learned from you early on that it was like, I'll just tell my customer, hey, and I'll show them the eBay screen. Hey, so I
Yeah.
use eBay a ton. I'm seeing these sell for 450 pretty consistently on eBay. I know some people have them listed at 550. They're not going to sell at that. And I'll say, hey, this guy, he's a refurbisher, so he's popping them open and cleaning up. We're not doing any of that. So if I'm going to resell this at 450, my offer to you, it's going to be around half of that. So I can do probably $250 based on this condition or based on that. And people are like, I used to be so scared to share this information with customers. What if they catch on that I'm a reseller and I'm making a profit? Oh no, like
Oh no.
I don't know, like that's I didn't consciously think
Yeah.
that, but I think subconsciously you think they're going to catch on to the deal and maybe they'll resell it themselves. But the more I've done this, the more I'm like, I hope they do resell it themselves, man. Like, the more I genuinely hope that customers can get the best price, I think they feel that
The
genuineness and
more
that
they come back.
authenticity. Yeah. And they still come back to me. And they even tell me, I know I could probably sell it for more, but goodness, man, like your process is so easy and you're always so nice. And
Yeah.
I'm like, man, thank you. Like that means a lot. You know what I mean? Like,
It's
uh,
true though. I mean, like that's one of the things that I started realizing early was that like the more honest I was with people, the more they just came back. And like even like I would what's hilarious about this though is I'll have other resellers, like store owners that I buy from, send me like currently listed items for what they're selling for on eBay. And they'll be like, it's selling for this on eBay. I'm like, no, that is incorrect. Like, go and
if it
find the
was selling for
sold
that, it'd
list.
be gone.
Yeah, go find the sold listings, man. Like,
Yeah.
no, this is what it's currently listed for. This is what it's selling for. No, that's not. And like, I'm thinking to myself, how are you in business right now? Like, how is that like, how, like,
Bro, the reality is that they're all on the verge of not being in business anymore.
it's
So,
true. Like, that's something I've come
yeah.
to realize. And that's honestly how it is with most businesses I've noticed. Is most are barely on the verge of scraping by. Um, because,
Well,
yeah,
I think you get focused on, and here's the thing, I get it. Like I think I have the privilege right now of not having any employees, but I'm like, you know, the next step for me is that to where
yeah,
I'm gonna have employees, and I recognize, hey, like I got to make sure I can provide for them as well. And that's a big deal. But I think that people get so focused on the margin and what that imaginary number is, and instead they're not thinking about the cash flow,
agreed.
which
Yes.
is how you provide for that. Because if I can get the cash flow going, I may be making less, like a dollar and a quarter, right? Over, every dollar in, I'm making a dollar and a quarter, but I can do that 3 or 4 times in a week.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm holding out for that, you know, $2 or $1.50, now I'm slowing things down in that process.
Yes.
And I don't know, man. I've gotten so much more comfortable with cash flow because now I also realize I used to not be as secure in my sourcing ability. And I
Mm.
don't know where I saw it or heard it one time, but they're like, are you good at sourcing or are you not? And if you're good at sourcing, then you should never stress about what you're going to sell that for.
Oh, that was probably the smart flip.
It might have been, man, but it's like I'm
Because
either good at
that sounds
sourcing.
exactly like something I would say.
It's like, well, no, but it's true. It's like, are you good at sourcing or you're not? And if you're not good at sourcing, then I understand the concern. But
Well, so yes, but I think it depends on the business, right? It's like you can
true,
be good at sourcing but terrible at selling, right? Like that's a real thing.
a
Like
lot of
we
people
see it.
aren't.
I mean, you and I follow very similar reseller like things. You know,
Yes,
I like to look, at the adjacent
across the
markets and
aisle.
what's going on. You know,
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
there, and then I see people is like, yeah, hit 1,000 listings, and I'm just like, I've
Ugh.
never hit 1,000 listings active in my entire life.
I think the most I've ever done is 30. That's the most I've
Yeah,
ever.
like I can't ever get past 30. Like
Mhm.
before the stuff starts sell. We had 5 things sell this morning,
Yep.
like for I mean we're shipping out $1,900 worth of stuff right now. Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect size thing. Yeah. Yeah, see $600 iPad going out right now.
Love it. Love
So,
it.
did they respond back? Yeah, I would wait for him to just confirm. But yeah, I mean, it's like I like to look at the adjacent markets, just to see kind of what's going on, and you learn stuff from those people too.
Dude,
Um,
that Flip Fusion guys, he's on
yeah,
some
I need to have him on the
that's
podcast. He
he's
sells some awesome stuff.
it's so like under the radar and the way he sources too though. I'll tell you, it's funny. I found myself like watching his channel, and just like everyone else, you start to get a little envious. You're
Well,
like,
I started DMing him actually. I was like,
yeah.
we were going back and forth, and he's like, "How do you run ads for this stuff?" And I was like, "Well, we just do this." And he's like, "That's an incredibly creative way to do this." And I was like, I wouldn't know that. I've been doing this for
Yeah, I can't
so
imagine.
long."
I can't imagine any other way. But I'll tell you, I have been, again, one of my things is like I have these phases of my plan. Phase one, obviously, we're going to get an employee in here. And I've told you about I'd like to have multiple locations and hopefully grow beyond that. But one of the things I thought, man, if I have time, I'm going to be looking into auctions and stuff like that too. Because again, I'm so confident in my ability to buy something, even a pallet or a truckload of something, and not be attached to what that item should sell for, but rather what I can sell it for.
Yes.
I'm so confident
Yes.
in my ability to do that that it's like I want to do it. But here's the thing: I was talking to another business owner today. He's actually a scrapper in my area, and he took a big old stack of laptops and old broken phones. And yeah, again, I could have gotten more if I sold it on eBay, but you know what I mean? It gets me lunch money. I was able to buy a few consoles off of him that he's kind of, been able to pick up. But we were talking and we were just talking about how like the importance of wholesale, like not getting, concerned with how much you're going to make, but rather be more focused on how quickly you can turn that dollar into $1.50 or $1.60
Yep.
or and he just had a lot of stories to share about that. And it's so funny to me that like that ends up being the people I think that we end up sticking around a little bit longer than those who are like, I have to maximize my margins.
Yeah. I agree.
Margins are nice. Don't get me wrong. It feels so good when I can buy, an iPad for 500 and sell it for 1,000. Like
Well,
it
when you start
feels,
going the margin way, I mean, if you're just, you buy something for 10 bucks and sell it for 15, that's a great margin.
yeah,
But you made $3 afterwards. Like,
yeah. And
okay, Amazon, hello,
unless you have a low effort, repeatable way,
Yes.
again, using that Flip Fusion guy, right? Where he had a whole truckload of stuff and like he had these drill bits or whatever, and he's got 150 count of them. Yeah, he may be
Yeah.
selling them. Not maybe the drill bits isn't a good example because he's been selling the expensive ones, but like it was one product that he had that like it was a low value, like $20 item. But literally he just takes one photo, one photo session of one item, quantity 150, and he's done. And
Yeah.
even though he's only making $5, right? In order for him to list that one item, yeah, it was $5 at one time, but every other one after that is
Yeah.
it's free money. Like you're
Yep.
so it's about effort in sourcing. And anyway, all of that to say, like I've get so distracted with all the things that I could be doing, and there's definitely things that I want to do, like into auctions and all that. But I'm so busy with my current influx of just organic traffic right now that like that's what I have to focus on because I can't just turn the money machine off. You got
Yeah.
to keep that going.
100%.
Um,
Yeah.
but we'll be in
Well,
a
I
position. We'll
I think a lot of people get caught up with that, right? Where they I mean, we're talking about cash flow now, right? Like cash flow is way more important than margin, and it's way more important than maximizing your profit, right? I was
yeah.
actually talking with one of the students yesterday who had his call with me to for a check-in, and he was he messaged me. He's like, dude, I love Mercury. And I was like, why? What's going on? He's like, well, you guys started buying the test strips and stuff too. And he's like, I actually sent out a package to another company and it got there on the 9th and I didn't get paid until today.
Oh my.
Yeah. He was like, it was like a $2,000 package.
I bet you I know which one it is too, but
I
I'll
don't,
keep
I'm not aware, but I
that.
didn't ask. But, but like that will slow you down big time. Is
Yeah.
like because and like that's one reason like me and Aaron did Mercury the way we did is because we knew that flippers needed cash flow. Like
Yeah.
that, it's 100% needed to grow. And I was talking about cash flow like this yesterday. Is like if you like just hold money in an area, right? It's like water, right? If it just stays, it'll just stagnate,
Yeah.
right? It'll just get still, it'll stagnate. The only way to keep water clean is to keep it moving, right? It's the
Damn.
only way to do it. And that's it for me, that's how cash flow works, right? So like when you see money going in and out, in and out, in and out, that's honestly that's a good thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people want all of the stuff to be there all at once, but that's actually how it stagnates. That's how the business actually starts dying, is when you have all of the cash at
I
the moment.
think yeah, I was there's some other things that I'm working on outside of this business, just in terms of like looking at other businesses that I want to potentially pursue, and talking with people in them, and I tell them about my current situation. They're like, "Dude, you're in such a good spot
Yes.
to
Yeah.
look at anything else because you have a cash, like you're not stressed about advertising. You're not, because you have examples of it working, and like you have a cash flow machine on the back end. Like, if you can afford to, you know, invest and not need results immediately. Like I can see how things go down the line. And I think, and again, I'm super, I tell Chelsea all the time, my wife, I tell her all the time that like, I'm so thankful for this business because it's taught me so much about business as a whole. And all I'm doing is something that is very like, if there's the oldest profession in the world, and we all know what that is, but the second oldest is probably reselling. And I do that, and it's not a super complex thing. It's just I buy something for a low price and I resell it for a higher one, and I do that as many times as I can in a month.
I mean that yeah. I mean, I was actually at this last event that I went to, and I was telling people about what I do, not only the reselling part, but also the coaching of the reselling part. And I shared some numbers and stuff with them, and one of them like there was a lot of big marketers at this event, um, big time people that you would know from ads. And I got
Yeah,
to meet a lot of those guys in person, and one of the guys has been a marketer forever, like forever.
yeah,
And I got to sit down on the yacht party with him and just like talk, with him.
that's cool.
And I was going over everything, and he's like, "Dude, you're in such a good position. If you just like stick with everything for like 10 years, you'll just be like rich." He's like, "Just don't screw it up."
Yeah,
He's
don't
like,
screw it up, or don't walk away from it unnecessarily. I feel like we've
"Yes,
seen that a lot of times with some people, even in this space, where it's like they build up this thing, and then I don't know, like the amount of people I see just get reckless. Like, how
yeah."
many times in that little reseller board that we're both a part of do you see people out 20K on an invoice, or out, like, I can't imagine.
I don't know even how that happens, to be honest. Like,
I
like
don't
where's the
either,
due
dog.
diligence at here? Like, and the
Dude.
thing is these guys are selling to people that are paying $5 more per device, and I'm just like, I can't do like I'm very risk adverse to
Yeah,
that. And I'm just like, how is this? How is that happening? Like that's never happened to me. Like, well, to be fair, I've always sold to people that I know, like, and trust.
I think
Um,
I think it goes back to our, I know we're getting so off topic with cash
I mean, it
flow.
doesn't matter.
Like,
Like, this is the
yeah,
podcast. It's
but
meant to be that way.
but it's 100. It's the same principle of cash flow, right? Like these people are holding out for higher margins, more money, right? An extra 10, $15 per device. But there's this predictable thing. Like I use eBay as a wholesale method,
Yes.
right? Because it's predictable. And here's the thing: I have as many followers as I have on eBay because they're other stores, and they're seeing me as predictable because I list the same way every time, I ship it the same way every time, I ship it the same cadence. Like everything is predictable for them, and therefore it's predictable for me. And we both could go find better sources, but it's like it's more about the cash flow. It's more about the predictability. And I think that, yeah, I think people underappreciate a good relationship or a seller with a great reputation. I think that there are times when sometimes that reputation can go south, because we've seen some pretty sizable, even direct buyers drop off the board
Oh
because
yeah.
of bad dealings, bad whatever. And I think that maybe as a customer, I definitely was not aware or privy to how that could have happened.
Yeah. Of course.
Um, but I think that I don't know, man. I go back to it's all about cash flow, man. Like you gotta.
It is all about cash flow, yes.
I'm not searching for other buyers because I got a great one, so I'm good. You know what I mean? Like,
It's interesting, right? Like I mean, it kind of reminds me of that little situation that you and I were on the comment thread last night of it, where it's like people just losing packages and stuff all the time, and I'm like, that doesn't happen to me that often. Like, it's not as common as this person is saying it is. It's like
yeah.
so in the last time that it was that common, especially with somebody in the program, I messaged him and I'm like, send me a photo of your package. Like,
Hmm.
show me what it looks like. And it was a pink bubble mailer, number one. And then it literally had his business name as the return address on the freaking item. And
Yeah.
it said phones in the freaking return address. And I'm like, bro, no wonder you're having issues. You're telling people
Yeah.
exactly what's in it, and it's in a bright pink freaking bubble mailer. Like, you, and he's like, oh. I'm like, come on, man. Like, come on. Like, we're smarter than that. Like,
Yeah, it's it's too it's look, I don't think I ship a ton of volume, but I recognize that I ship more than most. And
yes.
so I don't see it either. I lost two packages in 2025. The total loss amount for both of them was $250. It was a Switch tablet and it was a broken iPhone 11. And so like
Oh no.
oh no, yeah, and here's the thing, and I got I think at least 100 of it back because if you fill out a claim with USPS, you'll get at least 100 back if you do Ground Advantage.
Yep.
Super easy. So I don't know, man. Like it sucks when things get lost. It definitely happens, but you just be use common sense. Like I think everyone. Here's the thing. I think people get excited about their brand. They want their brand to be known, and I totally get that. And I think all of that is safe inside the package. I just wouldn't put it on the outside.
Agreed.
that's that's probably not the greatest idea. Like this is what I buy these probably by I think the last shipment I bought just under 1,000.
Yeah.
I use these every
Yeah.
day,
Yep.
and it's a
We use
like
black ones, but yeah,
yeah, you'll never know, and
never
it's
know.
it's not phone shape. I don't. I rarely use boxes unless they're new in box, and if they are new in box, then I'm shipping them in a
Six
Walmart
by
box.
six by six, baby.
Yeah,
They're never gonna be able to tell.
ever. Yeah.
Those are some of my favorite boxes to ship things, especially when it's going to direct buyers and stuff, or like the larger ones. It like they will never
Well,
know what's in it.
and people need to learn this too. I use one of these bad boys. It's a box resizer.
Oh
So
yeah, I've seen one of those. Yeah, I don't use it, but yeah,
you know me, I do a lot of laptops. Gaming
yeah,
laptops is probably one of the bigger things that I buy most often. We use those little Walmart 15 by 12 by 10s. I put it, bubble wrap the laptop
yeah.
probably 6 to 8 times, so it's a good thick layer. Drop it in the bottom; it fits perfectly without any sliding. And then wrap up the charger, set it right on top, and then I cut it down by about 6 inches using this, and it rides perfectly. And now I don't have to buy an additional size box. I can just cut down the one I have, and it
Heck
all
yeah,
works.
love that.
But going back to the bill of sale, I do have a question. Actually, I want to
Yeah,
ask
go for it.
you. Have you been implementing your bill of sale practice with your new diabetic supplies purchases?
No, not really because it. I don't think it's necessary, but it might be. I need to
I,
ask.
I agree. I don't think it's necessary in terms of I don't think anyone's going to the police to say,
Well,
"Hey,
like
my
a good
diabetic
example
supplies."
also is like I don't do it on gaming consoles because like I only like for 100% like I use the bill of sale for anything that can get blacklisted, right?
Makes
Like
sense.
that like if it's a gaming console or something like that, and if somebody's gonna report me stolen for or something like that's kind of hard to prove.
Yes.
Um, so like for gaming consoles and stuff like that, I'm not super worried about it. If it's a higher end thing, sure, you know like you know, well, I was gonna say Apple Vision Pro, but those have a serial that can be tracked. Definitely
Yeah.
getting that, but um, like things like gaming consoles, and I'm still new to the DTS space in terms of buying them. But I've been teaching marketing for
So
4 years,
I
but
actually I actually do use not necessarily a bill of sale, but it's the same process for
yeah,
my
yeah,
business as well. So what I did was within Resell Deck, I just cloned my bill of sale form, gave
yeah.
it a different web address, and it's called my pickup confirm form. And I
I
just
love
took a lot
that.
of the I took a lot of the language out of it that
Yeah,
is talks about like authenticity or stolen device because obviously no one's stealing diabetic supplies, but it basically just says, hey, I agreed to give it, for the amount paid for this, and it's I agree to be contacted via text and email because guess what? I just cloned that workflow as
yeah,
well, and now I'm following up with them every single month about, hey, do you have any
yeah.
more supplies? Do you have any more
We
test
are
strips?
doing that 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just activate the automation and after we buy it. But that is,
totally.
I like that though. It's like a pickup confirmation. That's a good way to do it.
Well, and here's
Where
why. Again, I know we're getting really technical in the
I
resale
like
deck
it
stuff.
though. Yeah, this is good.
Again, I stand by this product because I have become the stickiest user of resale deck. I've used
His
every
LTV
feature.
is skyrocketing over here for me.
Dude, I've used every feature of it. I've added extra phone numbers. I've brought new automations. I've upgraded my plan. Like I've done a whole bunch of stuff just to try how can I make this better for my business. But one of the things, so for me, again, one man show. So I have the big burden of I'm also the accountant on the back end, right? Um, Bill of sale or log, pickup confirm form, whatever you want to call it for DTS2 allows me to keep track of my cost of goods for my DTS
Yes,
supplies as well. So now when I see, hey, I've picked up 7 G7s from Miss Catherine or whatever, I can now see, when because sometimes I'll sit on diabetic supplies till I got a good $1,000
sure.
shipment and then I'll send it out.
Yeah, but you got to still
Now
know what you paid per customer
exactly.
because
And
yeah,
brother,
it's a
let
whole
me,
thing.
I will forget. I
Yeah.
will forget because I've slept since then and I've bought probably at least 100 different iPhones since getting ready to ship this, right? So
Yep.
like it all starts to muddy together. But again, the bill of sale protects me and it helps me on the back end as well because it follows up with my customers and it gives me a form that I can export if I ever need to break down, okay, how much did I pay for this? Or
Yeah.
dang, I forgot, you know what I mean? Like it's all again, it ties back into do you want to be a flipper? Do you want to have a business?
Do you want to
And
be
I
a
think it's
professional? You know,
a
like
professional.
for
Yeah.
me, like with for DTS, right? Here's a great example of I bought some stuff from somebody yesterday. And this happens for phones and electronics all the time too. Is my evergreen stuff. Like so we have the evergreen ad for test strips right now, very similar to what we have for electronics. Um but I
I'm
did
thinking
something
about turning mine
different.
on.
I did something different for the DTS stuff. I was like, okay, I went to ChatGPT and I was like, can you give me like 7 reasons why somebody like would see my ad and then just not message me, right? Like what
Yeah.
would be the reasons, right? And it gave me 7 specific reasons. And I was like, okay, all right, cool. This is good. Like this is good to know. Because it's like, is it legal? Is it this? Is it that? Are you worried about the meetup process? Like stuff, basic stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Stuff that I already do for the electronic space where like I show the meetups and all of that stuff. Um, but I messaged a lady last night, like she sold some stuff to us. And I was like, so you found me on Facebook, right? She's like, yes, I did. Every time I open my phone, I see you. And she's like, it's a different ad every single time, too. And I was like, well, that's my advertising that's working. So, but the ad that brought her in was the one where I'm talking about, are what was it? It was like, are you thinking it's not legal or something like that, right? And it's just me talking about it, for like 30 seconds. It was like, and I like in every video, I'm like, yeah, it's me again, and it works. It's very heavy on the retargeting, but that's
Yeah.
called being professional, right? Is
Yeah.
going that extra instead of just like dropping a cash for blah 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 ad. Like
Yeah.
now this is something I'm coming to terms with as well. And it's funny, I actually asked Laurel about this. I was like, do you like with people that join her program? Laurel's a mentor of mine. You can see her right here. I
I was
just
gonna say I recognize her face behind you.
I
Yeah.
just talked with her at the last event. And I asked her, I was like, whenever people join your program and they don't want to do like video ads of themselves, like, what do you say? And she's like, oh, I just don't help them.
Work with them. Yeah.
She's like, I just don't help them
Yeah.
at all. And I was
Yeah.
like, you don't get like people that are upset about that? And she's like, that's the way my process works. If they
Yeah.
aren't willing to be within the process that works, then they aren't going to get the results that they want. And I'm just like, fair enough. I'm going to adopt that right now. So,
I think that it's so funny. I talk about the following kind of like what you taught me and all that. And don't get me wrong, there's been times that I've deviated from that, just like every other reseller, right? Like you
yeah,
think you found a new avenue or you think you know best on something. And I think that it's important to note that like there is more than one way to skin a cat, right? But what's not going to work is, and I'll use you as the example, or we can use Laurel, we can use anyone else, right? Whatever you as the coach, whatever your process is only going to work if you follow it how you do it.
yes,
And I think that the wiggle room for that customization is very, very thin. And I think that also goes for the people. There's people that will coach you and teach you on, the chat GPT generated AI images for their whatever. And don't get me wrong, I think that to some level and to some degree, that method also works, but you can't like patch them all together and hope that you're going to get this Frankenstein monster of
yeah.
awesomeness. I don't think it really works that way. I think that if you're going to commit to a method, you follow that method.
Well,
Otherwise, you're going to be frustrated at the results that you either are or not getting because you're expecting similar results from a different method. So that's just my
I'll
thought.
tell you when you hit that area of that level of mastery, right? Of following the
Right?
other person's process. That this happened when I was doing Laurel stuff, like her advertising methods. Um, you start accidentally stumbling upon things that work. Like that's
Yeah.
what happens is like you follow a method long enough to where you're like accidentally tripping over the other pieces you can jump in and it comes in weird ways. Like for example, I remember literally watching one of Laurel's ads one time. And I was like, how do I get that many comments on my ad? Like she had like about 700 comments on her ad. And then and then I was like, well maybe I can do it like I do with Google ads and just ask. Hold on, somebody's calling me.
Just ask. People will do things if you just ask them. You just got to be consistent.
Crazy, you know. Hold on, somebody's
Yeah.
are they calling my business or somebody else? Hold on. What's happening? Oh, yeah. Can you that's the test strip guy. Can you call him back on Facebook? He's probably calling us because he's about to leave or something like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, oh, you probably yeah, you'll have to call him on business suite. Yeah, you can just call him from the computer. Um, but yeah, I mean, you just over time you just start like tripping over little things that you can add in that and by the way guys, I'm working, sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
Man's got multiple businesses. Oh, damn.
Exactly, yes. So um but yeah, you just kind of start tripping over stuff and then you find out that it accidentally works and congratulations, you found a new part of the method, right? That's how it happens is like I accidentally stumbled upon the evergreen method, right?
Yeah.
And it has been built upon since um, as we found new things. Also, joining communities and sometimes people will be using the same method, but then there's a little tweak they made, like a tiny one, you know, and it just works. And
I think
so,
I think it's important to distinguish though there's a time and place for that.
agreed. Yes.
Because I think that if 2 years ago I heard what you just said, I would be confused about like, well, I'm not seeing success in this, that, or the other, or whatever. Like you have to. I feel like now I'm at a position where I'm looking into other like very similar to what you do. Like what other conferences can I go to? What other exposure to different markets can I get? So that way I can add that to my existing expertise with electronics flipping because again, I haven't arrived. I'm not the best in the world, but I can safely say I'm successful at doing this. So now I can look into that success or I can look outside of that because this is a recurring machine that I have systems in place that I don't even have to think about how to box a laptop, how to ship a whatever, or how I advertise, or how, like I don't, all that is a system that's done. So now when I explore outside of that to add to it, I'm adding bits and pieces from things that that aren't changing my current process because my current process
Yes,
is working. If your
100%.
current process is not working, stop fucking changing it. Sit still. Stop tweaking your ads. Stop, just sit still for a second and let yourself get acclimated before you change.
You know what's funny about this is I started implementing a 90-day rule, where like if I set up a system, I could not change it for 90 days, right? Like that
Oh,
was the
dude,
rule.
that's so brilliant.
So I even have a countdown on my phone for it, by the way.
Yeah,
Like I said, so a great example, we launched Momentum a little over 90 days ago for those people that want a little bit of coaching, but they don't want full recelerator yet, or they're on
yeah,
their way, but they can't afford it yet, right? So we
right.
launched it for these people. And every piece of intern, if I don't see something going and working correctly, right? I'm like, I know this about myself. It's a shiny object problem, right?
Yeah.
So like what I did is I'm like, all right, I can't change anything that I set up for 90 days. And now we're at like $1,100 in recurring revenue. So it's like,
I think I'm
and
gonna implement. I'm always good at stealing your ideas. I'm gonna steal that one too because
90
there's
days,
things I
man.
want. No, it's a perfect marker because I'll tell you, I'll use Google Ads as an example. I tested out some Google Ads right before the holidays. Um, Built them myself. I say myself. I use ChatGPT to kind of help me out and target certain keywords that I wanted,
Yeah.
whatever. They weren't so hot for the first 2 weeks, and I was like, "Ooh, I want to kill these." But then I got busy, all
Yeah.
right, and I was,
Yep.
it's Q4, just typical repeat, whatever. But why January was so successful for me was because all the changes that I made in November started kicking in, and all of a sudden my cost per acquisition, I've shared some of that with you, is like
Yeah.
incredibly low. And
Yeah,
I'm
and that's
like,
because you let
uh-oh,
it run. Yeah,
you
you let
gotta
it
let
get
it.
enough data. So I learned the 90-day thing from Laurel actually. I remember giving her some data, and because she's big on data, she's right. Like her big thing is 90 days to data, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
And if you have data, but it's not at least 90 days old, okay, buddy, you gotta press down on it and then save it. Okay. So yeah. Um, Sorry, my kid's learning about tornadoes apparently.
Let's go.
But yeah, it's 90 days to data. So like that's a big thing is if you have to let it kind of marinate and go and like be in the market long enough to actually do something. Right?
Yeah.
All right, here, go get out. Bye.
And
Um,
I think that if you can't afford to let that sit for 90 days at $5 a day, or if it's an ad campaign, or
Correct. Yeah.
90 days if it's a new process that you're implementing, then maybe you're not ready to change that just yet anyway. All right.
Correct.
Like,
Yeah. So like that's something I've learned is just like if you can't do the same thing for 90 days, like, and
yeah.
actually, funny enough, I actually created something. So I learned how to make apps at the most recent event. I've been sending
Oh,
Spencer some of this stuff.
I was like, I
Um,
know. Trust me, I
I've
know.
created some amazing stuff, but one of them was like I have the phone flipping power list, right? So I gave it to Lovable, and I was like, turn this into like a 75 hard type thing and call it Flip 90, you know? Where it's
Okay.
five very specific things you have to do every day, and one of them, the things is like you have to make $20 offers, right? Like $20 offers. If you do that, I guarantee you'll make money. By the way, like
Impossible
guaranteed.
not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then there's like the four other things like track, learn something, stuff like that. All the stuff that I did coming up. Um, and it works. So, but yeah, a big rule for me has just been like stick with something for at least 90 days. And if you can reevaluate after that, but a lot of you guys listening to this right now are trying phone flipping or whatever for a week. And you're like, oh, it doesn't work. What in your life has worked after 7 days?
All
Like,
right.
let's be real. How long did you have to date before somebody became your wife? Was it longer than 90? Probably, you
It
know.
was 90 days. Yeah.
Was it 90? Okay.
No, no, no. Sorry. No, no. But yeah. No, it's, I
Very rarely do things work in 2 weeks or less.
And if
Okay.
you're not using a bill of sale on all your transactions, try it today and do
Yeah,
it for
for
90
sure.
days.
Print one
And
out, save your ass.
yeah, or just you know what I mean, or just use something similar to Resell Deck, right? And just
Heck yeah.
have a website that all you have to do is go to the website, fill out the form, sign, submit, and then it goes into an automation. It's
Yep.
fantastic. I think everyone that's scared to do that or scared to tell a customer, nope, you can come to me, try it for 90 days
Try it
and
for 90 days.
see how it changes your business.
The thing is, if it's working for somebody else, it's typically working.
Yeah,
Like, that's the thing. Like, we're
yeah,
on this podcast and we bring people on that have been doing this less time than some of the people listening. Like there's a lot of people that have been, they'll reach out. It's like a badge of honor. Oh, I've been doing this for 10 years. Well, how much are you making per month? About $6,000 profit. Just like, I wouldn't be proud of that, bro. Like 10 years? Like, come on, man. Like, there was some learning that stopped somewhere there, you know?
yeah,
And I'll be real with you guys. The moment you guys stop learning about something, that's the moment you stop making money.
yeah,
100%. Okay, once again, it's like the water analogy that I gave. It's like if you're not continuously moving the water and challenging your own beliefs and like stuff like that, you're going to stagnate and you're just going to stay
yep.
forever, and it sucks. So I'm gonna end it there though. I do got a
Good
call
point
with a
then.
student coming up. So but Spencer, I appreciate you coming on, dude. Thanks for being my co-host
I
today.
appreciate you having me, man. I love being on the podcast. I love hearing from people that message me either on Slack or through Facebook. Hey, man, saw your episode, whatever. Like, dude, that jazzes me up because I feel like if you're listening to a podcast like this, more often than not, you're an action taker and you're serious about wanting to change your life and your business.
100%.
So
Yep.
I love to help people any way I can, whether it's a 60-second soundbite or a 60-minute podcast. So
Oh, always appreciate you coming on.
cool, man.
With that being said, guys, well, I'll see you, Spencer, next week at FlipCon. So looking
Heck yeah,
forward to
you
that.
will.
And
I'm super stoked.
for everybody listening, we'll see you guys next time. And check out my stuff below. Buy something, or do something with your life. We got free stuff, we got paid stuff. So check it out. See you guys later. Bye.